All right, so I will start now. Maybe just let me see whether you're around. So can you all see that there's a chat function? All right, if you can see that there's a chat function, can you show me a reaction, a thumbs up reaction? Can you see a chat function? Yeah, if you can see a chat function, can you give me a reaction, a thumbs up reaction? Okay, next, can you type something into the chat function? I just want to make sure that everybody can see because they recently enabled the text function. Hi, Yawen. Last time they don't have the text function one, if you realize. Right, so I would like you to make sure that you can use the text function because you will be using the text function to type in some word lah. Okay, so please type in something. Only Yawen can see text function. Everybody else, can you see the text function? Idora, Inti, Hui Ying, Hazika, Rushdi, Yuhong, can you see the text function? Okay, Yuhong. All right, people are coming in to see. I can see that some of you can see the text function. All right, okay, so you need to use the text function because I'll be asking you to show some work. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to start to show my screen. And in this lesson, what we are going to do in this night study, right? What we are going to do is that we are going to focus on income and expenses. And I think that is always a difficulty. So I'm going to ask you, we are in this lesson, right? In this maybe 1.5 hours, we are going to recap some difference between income and revenue. All right. So what is the difference between revenue and income? And then we are going to look at some of the journal entries, revise some of the journal entries related to transactions in income and expenses ledger. This is a big part. All right. This is a huge part. You're going to learn how to calculate, or not learn, but revise how to calculate earned income and incurred expenses and see how it's presented on the financial statements. All right. So just to remind everybody, there's actually any kind of income that you earn through business activities, right? It's actually just named income. All right. So you say, what is your income? Oh, there's actually income is basically what you earn through your business activities. But income can be split into revenue and can be split into other income. So I hope you can remember this. Now, revenue is a special word, special accounting word that we use for income that is earned from main business. So for example, your main business, if you are Courts, right, your main business is actually selling furniture. And your revenue is sales revenue. All right, mainly you earn your income from selling your furniture, which is selling your goods, selling your inventory. However, all right, and then if you are, say for example, a bicycle repair shop, all right, if you are a bicycle repair shop, actually you have no sales revenue, you don't have any sales revenue at all. You only have a service fee revenue, all right? Because you only provide services. You only provide services such as bicycle repair services, all right? So, however, providing that service is still your main business, all right? So, you cannot say that this is an income. To you, right, it is not service fee income, it is service fee revenue because repairing bicycles is your main business. All right. So just to remind everyone that that is the key meaning of revenue. That revenue really is income that you earn from your main business. All right. Now, just now we used the example of Courts, right? Say Courts, when you sell your furniture, you actually earn a sales revenue. Right? You earn a sales revenue. You earn this money from selling your inventory, selling your furniture. Now, we also know that Courts, right? They also earn another income. Sometimes when they send the furniture to your house, they will help you to set up the furniture and they charge you $30 installation fees, right? Now that $30 is known as other income. It's like a side business. All right, it's a side business. It's not the main business. The main business of Courts is not to go to people's house to set up the furniture. No, the main business of Courts, right, is to sell the furniture. But they may earn some side business, side income by helping you to set up the furniture. All right. And so this setting up the furniture is known as the other income to courts. Now, sometimes, courts also have installment plans, right? And then if you are late on your installment plans, courts also might charge you interest. All right. And therefore, that is known as a interest income. Now, courts is not in the business of lending people money. All right. And that's why it is not a revenue for them. It is a other income for them. If courts has got too much money, that's a happy problem. They will put it into the bank account. And this bank account will generate interest for courts, right? The bank will pay courts interest. And since this interest is a side income, it's known as a interest income. Now, there are many types of interest income. There are many types of other income because businesses can have any kind of side businesses, right? So you can see from these notes here, there's a possibility of interest income, rental income, service fee income, whatever income. All right, but whatever it is, all these revenue and income have to follow the revenue recognition theory. All right, the revenue recognition theory tells you that you only earn your income when the goods are delivered or when your services is provided. And this is critical. If you don't deliver the goods or if you don't provide the service, you cannot say that you have earned that income. All right, so this is critical. Remember, if you never provide the goods, if you haven't provided the services, you cannot say that you have earned the income according to the revenue recognition theory. So this one, let's remember it in our brain so that when we look at the other revision items, right, we can remember. All right. So let's just put in your brain first, okay? Now, I just want you to recall what are the journal entries that happen when a business receives payment for services which is provided. So when a business receives payment, don't care whether it's cash or cash in hand or a check, this is the journal entry that they will provide. They will debit cash in hand, cash at bank. Why debit? Because when you receive the money, you will put it in the bank account or you will have more money, right? So you will increase the asset. Now, the other account affected is credit service fee revenue and or service fee income. Why credit? Because income accounting rule is minus plus. All right. Now, another journal entry that you must remember is this journal entry. When a business transfer revenue and or income to income summary, this is the journal entries. We will take out the amount from the service fee revenue or service fee income. So your service fee revenue or service fee income is a debit, and then your income summary is a credit. Now, another thing that you will need to remember is that what is the amount that is transferred? Okay, so the amount which is transferred to income summary, what is this amount? This is actually the earned amount, the earned income. Whatever, only the amount that is earned is transferred to the income summary, only the amount that is earned. If it's not earned, it is not transferred. Okay, so this is important for us to remember. All right. Okay, now let's get into it then. Income receivable. So this is a revision, so it will be a little bit faster than when I teach in class. So what is this income receivable? We have to look at this word receivable. Receivable means what? I am going to receive this money. All right, I am going to, but I have not received it yet. All right, so why is it a problem for the business? It's a problem for the business because actually the amount is already earned. The income is already earned this year, earned in the current year, but have not been received yet. It will only be received next year. So what does it mean to the business? Actually, the business already provided the goods and services. Okay, in this case, just services. The business already provided the services, but the business has not invoiced it, or the business has not received the money yet. Now, because I am going to receive the money next year, this is known as a current asset. All right, the money is owed to the business and it is expected to be collected soon. Now, this poses a problem to the business at the end of the financial year. The end of this financial year, it also poses a problem for the business at the beginning of next financial year. Why is it a problem for the business during this period of time? Now, at the end of this year, I earned it already. All right, earned the money already, but I haven't received it yet. All right, I earned the money already, but I haven't received it yet. All right. Now, at the beginning of next year, it will also be a problem because I did not earn the money that year, but I'm going to receive money. So can you see that it's a timing difference? There's a difference in the timing between you earning the money, earning the income, and receiving the money. All right, so there's a timing difference. All right, and so this causes there to be a problem for the business. And that's why if there is a timing difference between the business actually working to earn the money and when they actually receive the money, you will need to make some adjustment at the end of the current financial year. You need to make the adjustment at the end of the current financial year. You also need to make the adjustment at the beginning of the next financial year. So let's take a look at what these adjustments are. Now, at the end of this year, let's remember, I have earned the income in this year, but I will only receive it next year. So these two items, let's remember. This one in green that I am showing you now. All right, so the rest I'm going to take away the color so that we are not confused by too many color, okay? So these two items that I want you to focus on. You have already earned the income this year. All right, you have already earned the income this year, but you will only receive it next year. So at the end of the current year, how am I going to record it? At the end of this year, I need to remember that I have earned the income. All right, if I have earned the income, then I must record income plus whatever income. It could be service fee income, service fee revenue. It can be tuition fee income, the tuition fee revenue, whatever it is. All right, and I have earned it, so I need to increase my income, plus income. However, the second portion, the second in green, right? I will only receive it next year. I have not received the money yet, so I will need to record this income receivable asset plus. All right, and you will increase the asset because the customer owes the business money. So everybody can understand this double entry. If you cannot understand this double entry, you can key into the chat. All right, Miss Lim, please explain that again. I will count to 5, let you digest this. Then I will go to the beginning of next year. Okay, if you are okay with this, right, let's take a look at the beginning of next year. At the beginning of next year, things are a little bit different. All right, now look at this thing that I'm highlighting now in turquoise. All right, this income actually you already earned it last year. All right, you have earned this amount last year, but next year, all right, next year you will receive the money. But in reality, this money that you receive, you didn't earn it that year, you earned it last year. So I'm going to scroll back again. Can you see here? When you receive a payment, right, you actually will credit service fee revenue. You actually will increase the service fee revenue. So when you receive money, right, you actually increase this service fee revenue or service fee income. But the reality is you did not earn the money in that year. You actually earned it last year. It actually was from last year. All right. Therefore, it is a problem for the business. The business cannot say that this amount, whatever the amount is, has been earned this year. So what does the business need to do? The business will therefore have to record a minus income, have to decrease the income. Why have to decrease the income? Because the income was earned last year, the same color, the same turquoise. All right, the income was earned last year. It's not earned this year. That's why in the next financial year, every time there's a beginning of the year, right? And if you see that there is an income receivable, you have to think, oh, this income, right, actually was earned last year. It's not earned that in this year. So I need to minus it from my income in that year. All right. So I let you digest this. If you still don't understand it, you need to type into the account. You have to type into the chat box. Okay, I will let you digest it for 5 seconds while I see whether got people message me. Okay, all right, I'm moving on. Okay, see, so first, now we understand why in the next year you have to minus away the income. I am going to talk about this income receivable that you have in your accounts now. Now, next year, you are not going to have this income receivable anymore. All right, why? Because you are going to receive the money. See over here, you will receive payment. Can you see this what I'm going to highlight in green now? You are going to receive payment. Can you see here? I debit cash in hand. I'm going to receive payment. So since you are going to receive payment, right? This income receivable is no longer there. It's no longer there. What you will need to do now is to minus away this asset. You need to minus away the income receivable. Decrease the asset because your customer will pay your business this year. All right. So this one everybody can understand? Okay, yeah? All right. I'll only look at Yao Wen because he's the only person who show his video. So I'm very, very appreciative to you. Thank you, Yao Wen, for doing that. It makes me feel not so lonely. All right. So now what you can do is to take a look at your example 1. All right, take a look at your example 1, and you need to apply what you see here. All right, you need to apply here at the income that you earn in whether this income, right? Whether you need to earn, you have earned it this year or not. All right, so take a look at example 1 and then do question 1A, example 1A. So let me go through example 1. You record the following on 1st of July. Now, first, if you record this following on 1st of July, right, this is actually the beginning. So this is the beginning. All right, the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, you saw that there was a service fee income receivable of $4,500. During the year, you received $6,000 in checks and it's related to service fee income. And your records show a service fee income receivable of $2,000. So what you need to do is that you need to calculate what is the service fee income that you earn for the year. All right, so let's take a look. Remember, at the beginning of this year, you have $4,500 service fee income receivable. This $4,500, you need to think to yourself, is it earned this year? All right. And then at the end of the year, you have a service fee income receivable. Again, you need to think to yourself, was it earned this year? So can you do this calculation? You don't have to show it to me. What I would like you to do is to just submit your answers into the chat box. Now, under the chat, right, you can actually see 2, you know. You see 2, you don't need to select send to everyone in the meeting. You just need to click send to me. All right, so after you work out your answer, can you click the 2 there, you don't click 2, you just click it to send to me. And then after that, you send me your answer. Can you do this now? I will leave this screen here. All right. And then can you send it to me right now? Okay, so I give you maybe about half a minute to do. So can you do this and can you send it to me? So you just need to click send to Miss Lim can already. Don't need to send to everybody. I just want to make sure that you are more or less able to understand it. If you don't understand it, you know what? Just directly DM me and say, Sim, I don't understand. Okay? Okay, just let everybody have some time to do the answer and then send to me, okay? Okay, only got 3 people. Thank you, Zhiyuan, Eudora, and Yiqi. The rest you send me, work out your answer, then you send to me, okay? So in the current year, how much have you earned? Thank you, Rushdi, Yu Hong, and Yao Wen. Wow, the answer is all very different. Everybody has a different answer. Okay, let's take a look at what I think is the correct answer. So firstly, right, we need to think to ourselves, at the beginning of the year, there was this service fee income receivable. So I need to think, at the beginning of this year, is this $4,000 going to be earned this year? All right, is this $4,000 going to be earned this year? So I look at this double entry, right? When it is a service fee receivable, actually I've never earned the money this year. At the beginning of the year, right, there is this service fee receivable, but I never earned the money this year. When did I earn this money? Actually, I earned the money last year. All right, I earned it last year, at the end of last year. All right, it's just that at the beginning of the year, it's still sitting in my accounts. I did not earn this money this year. Because I did not earn this money this year, it is actually a minus. All right, it is unearned this year. Okay, this one can understand? Can everybody understand this unearned this year? If you cannot understand the unearned this year, please please in the chat group tell me. All right, if you cannot understand this unearned this year, please in the chat group tell me, okay? This $4,500 is unearned this year because the $4,500 is actually from last financial year end receivable. Everybody okay? Okay. So the next thing is this $6,000 in checks. The $6,000 in checks, right? Recall to yourself, what is the double entry when you receive $6,000 check? So I go up and see the double entry again, all right? When you receive payment, the double entry is this that I'm highlighting in red color now, all right? That when you receive in check, right, the double entry is you are going to increase service fee income or service fee revenue. You will increase. Since you increase it when you receive the money, this $6,000 here, you should also increase income. All right, you are going to increase income for this $6,000. Cannot understand? Quickly chat. The chat function always there, okay? Don't need to wait for a break, just use. Now, finally, at the year end on 31st of December, you see that there is a service fee income receivable. So what is a service fee income receivable? Receivable means earned this year, but haven't received the money yet. Since I already earned it this year, I will need to increase. All right, I need to increase the amount. All right, I'm not going to increase my income. So let's see what is the correct answer. So this is how I need to work out my answer. The service fee income that is earned, this $4,000 at the beginning of the year needs to be deducted. Why is it deducted? Because you earned it last year. You never earned this year, you actually earned it last year. So you need to minus away. The $6,000, you receive money. The double entry when you receive an income is debit, cash or bank, credit, increase income. So you plus $6,000 because you received the money. Finally, the $2,000, right? You earned it this year, but you haven't received it yet. So you need to plus 2,000 because receivable means do work already, haven't received the money. So the final answer is $3,500. Those people who got $3,500, wait, doesn't make sense. I think my calculation got mistake. It's correct, like 3,500. All right, so the correct answer is $3,500. So those students who did not get $3,500, do you understand where you made the mistake? If you don't understand where you made the mistake, then you will have to maybe type in the chat group a direct message to me, or you need to consider, hey, where is the mistake that I made? Can you understand why is it 3,500? All right, okay, so what is the amount that is shown on the statement of financial performance? The amount that is shown on the statement of financial performance is this $3,500. All right, income earned, whatever income that you have earned, right? That is the amount that is going to be shown in the statement of financial performance. So your service fee income is 3,500. All right, and what is the amount that is going to be shown in the statement of financial position? Statement of financial position is your asset, liability, and equity. So the amount in your statement of financial position, you will see a current asset and service fee receivable of $2,000. Okay? All right, I add a D for you. And can you do this D now? So your D, you will directly type into the, you will directly type it into the chat box, okay? So prepare. So this, you do the D now. Prepare the journal entry to record the transfer of income to transfer of service fee income to the income summary. So type down, narration is not required. Okay, so please type into the chat box the answer for D, which you are doing now. Ladies and gentlemen, journal entry, by now you must know exactly what is a journal entry. Journal entry is debit what, credit what. Debit what account, what amount, credit what account, what amount, okay? Yes, very good, Zhi Yuan, correct. Idora, you correct, partially correct. Your service fee income and your two account name are correct. The value also correct, but then I don't know whether is it debit or credit, okay? Hazika, your journal entry is incomplete. You have a debit but no credit. Oh, Hazika, here it comes. Okay. Yuhong, your answer also incomplete. One debit only, where's the other credit? Okay, so double entry must always have a debit and have a credit. Hey, chat, can you all see my chat? If I open my chat, can you guys see it? No, right? Okay, so what is the double entry? So your double entry will be like this. You will be, all right, you will be debiting service fee income. All right, you will be debiting service fee income. Why debit service fee income? All right, you debit service fee income because you take the amount minus, take the amount out of service fee income. All right, you take it out of service fee income and you put it into income summary. All right, you take the amount out of service fee income, 3,500, you take it out of service fee income and you put it into income summary. All right, so that's why you debit service fee income. Everybody okay with this? All right, so if you are done with this, ladies and gentlemen, let's give your brain a 1 minute break. All right, so just close your eyes, take a very, very short break, rest your brains a little bit before we move in. I'm literally going to do this, okay? So take some time now, go and drink some water. Okay, I'm going to give everybody a 1 minute break, okay, starting now, before we move on to the next one. Have a sweet in class. In class, I will give you a sweet. Now, no. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming back. Are you in front of your laptops now? Bing, 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 bing. Time to come back to your laptops. All right, so what we're going to do is go on to income received in advance. Now, if you are able to understand income receivable, right, then income received in advance, you will understand it quite easily because it's like same, but different. All right, so let's take a look at what income received in advance mean. Now, this word receive in advance, when you receive something in advance, it means that you take already in advance. All right, it's like if you actually went to work and you do a part-time job, then you after that you went to your boss and say, boss, I got no money. I really, really need some money. Can you give me my salary in advance? Then your boss say, okay, I don't really trust you a lot, but here you go, $5,000 salary in advance. Right? So if that ever happens, and this $5,000, right, you have taken it in advance. Does it belong to you? No, actually you owe your boss the work. All right, you owe your boss the money, you owe your boss the work. All right, you have to work the next month without pay. If you don't work the next month without pay, your boss will report to MON and have you arrested. All right. You also, let's say you immediately want to tender your resignation. So don't work for you already, boss, I found another better job. You think your boss will let you go off without paying him back this 5,000? You wait long. Hokkien say tan kuku. Okay. So you will need to repay your boss this $5,000. Now, this $5,000 is not yours. You received it in the current period, but you will actually only earn it next year. In POA, we are only concerned with next year. Don't worry about next month, okay? Next year. You receive the money already, but you will only earn this amount next year. Basically, you haven't earned the money yet. You have received the money, but you have not provided the services to your customer. You owe your customers the services. All right, you owe the customer the services, and you need to repay them in the form of providing these services in future. All right. So the key point here is that it is you take the money already, but you have not earned the money yet. Therefore, in the year that you took people's money, right? In the year that you take the money, this is a current liability. All right. You owe the customer services to them. So in the year that you take the money, what is the double entry? In the year that you take the money, in that current year, you receive the income, you receive the money already, but you haven't earned it yet. What you need to do is that you need to record this service income received in advance, which is a liability. You increase the liability because you owe your customer work, or you owe the customer this amount. All right. Now, have you earned it yet? You haven't earned it yet. Because you haven't earned it yet, you will need to minus income. You need to decrease the income because you have not earned the income yet. This one in yellow is in the year that you took people's money. All right. So at the end, usually you record this at the end of that particular year. So that year will end. And then after that, you go into the next year, into the new year. New year, new start, right? So new year, new start, you actually see this income received in advance, all right? This yellow bit. You see this income received in advance at the beginning of the year. Oh, I took $5,000 from my boss, income received in advance. The thing is, you are going to earn the money this year. All right, you are going to earn the money this year, so you will not have this liability to your boss anymore. This is the double entry that you will prepare. You will record, I need to minus away my liability because I don't owe my boss this money anymore. I need to decrease the liability because I will work to reduce this liability this year, right? The second thing is, in reality, you say, right, you're going to work to reduce your liability. So you are going to earn the income that year. You are going to record income plus because you're going to earn it this year. You will work to earn the income this year. So far, so good. Can I? Let's try one example to, in a similar format, all right? Let's try one example to understand this. So the same thing, read the example and then after that answer A. All right, so Jermaine records the following on 1st of April 2020. So this again, to remind everybody, beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, so Jermaine opened a tuition agency, I forget to say, okay? Jermaine opens a tuition agency and she records this at the beginning of the year. Tuition fee income received in advance. All right, tuition fee income at the beginning of the year, that last year she collected all this extra money, all this money from her students. You need to think to yourself, has she earned the income yet? All right, last year she never earned the income. So when is she going to earn the income? She's going to earn the income this year, right? Yes, this year. So during the year, she received $10,800 in cash and check from new students. All right. At the end, at the year end, okay, at the end of the year, her record show a tuition fee income received in advance $2,500. So at that year end, this is the amount which she has taken from people but haven't do the work yet. All right, so what I would like you to do is to calculate the tuition fee income that Jermaine has earned. How much has she earned? All right, for the year ended 2021. Please, can you please type your answer into the chat box again? Thank you very much. Wow, Yao Wen, that's fast. Oh, Rushdie also, that's fast. Who will be correct? Two different person, two different answer. Check your work again, everybody. Who is YS? I don't know who is YS. I don't have a student acronym YS. Who is YS? You better tell me who you are or I will kick you out forever. Who is YS? Oh, Yongsheng, is it? Everybody got different answer leh. 为什么有 different answer？ 为什么？Yongsheng, I'm still teaching this topic. I'm just wondering whether you would like to come on a little bit later, maybe about half an hour later. Or what you can do, Yongsheng, is that you can take out your 10 years, you can take out the past year paper that you were doing yesterday, and you will continue on with the trial balance. Can Yongsheng? Later I see your work. You can just take out your trial balance because I'm teaching this. You can mute me or you can turn down the volume. Everybody got different answer. Are you sure it's correct or not? Zhiyuan, you only got 2 number leh. Then what about the 2,500? Why you ignore that 2,500? Yao Wen is very, very sure that his answer is right. Let's take a look at what the answer is supposed to be. All right, so let's take a look at your answer. So this is the tuition fee income earned, okay? So firstly, this $1,800, right, is actually unearned last year. All right, you did not earn it last year, the $1,800, unearned last year, and it is earned this year. Since it's unearned last year and earned this year, $1,800, you need to increase because you earned it this year. You earned it this year, so $1,800 need to add plus $1,800. All right, next, you have received $10,800, and whenever you receive 10,000 money, right, you need to increase income and also increase cash or bank account. So you need to plus income. Finally, your record show a tuition fee income received in advance of $2,500. Now, you receive in advance. You take people money already. Have you done the work yet? You haven't done the work. All right, you haven't done the work yet. This is unearned at year end. And if it is unearned at year end, you will need to minus $2,500 because receive in advance. Receive in advance, mistake already, haven't earned yet. All right, so it's unearned at year end. That's why you must minus away $2,500. The correct answer is $10,100. Is everybody okay how you get this answer? Okay, Zhiyuan understands it now. I never include that. Zhiyuan, I never include the 2,500. I actually deducted it away. You know why I deduct away or not, Zhiyuan? Because you see, during the year, right, I received $10,800, which I am going to highlight in green. I received this $10,800, you know, but out of this $10,800, right, actually $2,500 is unearned. I never earned it. Since I never earned this $2,500 that I actually received as part of the 10,008, I need to deduct it away at year end. All right, I need to deduct it away at year end. So can everybody understand why I deducted this $2,500 at year end? Because it's unearned. I never earn it. I never earn it. I cannot include it inside my earned income. Okay. All right. So what is the amount that is shown on the statement of financial performance? I think by now we realize that the amount that is earned on the statement of financial performance is the tuition fee, right? It's the tuition fee income, which is $10,100. All right. And the amount shown on the statement of financial position, which section is it? Can everybody send your answer to me in the text box? Can everybody send your answer to me in the text box? Do now. Thank you very much. Answer the question. What is the amount shown in the statement of financial position in which section? So got 2 portions. Oh, answer different again. 为什么? All right, so what is the amount that is shown inside the statement of financial position? Just to remind everybody, statement of financial position is where your asset and your liability is. Now for the year end, there is only one item that is going to be shown inside your statement of financial position. It is this amount. At the year end, they already tell you here directly. At the year ended 31st March 2021, her records show a tuition fee income received in advance of $2,500. At the year end, this is the amount that's going to be shown in the statement of financial position. It's going to be shown in the current liability section, and you will see a tuition fee received in advance of 2005. Why 2005? Because this is the liability. You owe your tuition students the money that they pay you and you haven't earned it yet. All right. So question? If there's question, you can directly chat in the chat box, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I would like you to do on foolscap paper. Example 3, I would like you to do in the foolscap paper. All right, and submit to me. I will create a Google Classroom. So if you want to, you can submit the work on Google Classroom. I will mark and give you the correct answer. All right. Any problems with this? Question 3, you can do on foolscap paper. Take a picture and submit into Google Classroom. Later, I will create with this material and a recording, and then you can submit into Google Classroom and I can mark it for you. All right. Okay, let's let our brain take a 1 minute break. Then we go on to expenses. Okay, so please go and take a 1 minute break. Go and find some sweets to eat, or go and talk to your plant, or go and cuddle your dog, or whatever. 1 minute break, everybody. I'm setting my alarm now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our 1 minute is up. And as usual, I can only see one human being's face. So boring. All right. If only I can see more of your face, that would make it more interesting. That would make it more interesting for me. All right. So now we are going to take a look at expenses. All right. Now, if you kind of understood income, right? Expenses are like more or less the same. Again, it's like same, but different, the opposite side of things. Okay. Now, basically, just to remind you, expenses. When do we need to record expenses? Now, income is recorded when the services is consumed, right? When you use the services, right? So say again, income is recorded when the services is provided, right? So expense is recorded or incurred when the benefits are consumed, all right? You have used the benefits that is provided by your supplier, all right? And therefore you have incurred, we say that you incur the expense, regardless of when you pay money or not. Now, this is called the accrual theory of accounting. All right. So a bit recall your double entry. When your business makes a payment for expenses, these are the two accounts that are affected. Firstly, you debit expenses. You record an increase in expense. Secondly, you credit a cash in hand or cash at bank because you have made a payment for that. Okay, I think this double entry, all of us more or less understand. Now, when you transfer your expenses to income summary, again, remember, you are taking out the amount from your expense and you are putting it into your income summary. All right, so what you need to do is you need to credit expenses. All right, you need to credit expenses. You minus away your expense. You take out from your expense and you put it into your income summary. Now, a few reminders. When you record your expenses, all right, when you record your expenses, you only transfer the incurred or the used expense to income summary. If you never use it or you never incur it, you don't transfer it. All right, so let's continue on to look at prepaid expenses. Now, prepaid expenses are basically amounts that you have already paid. All right, you have already paid your expenses, but it's unused at year end. When are you going to use it? You will use it next year. Right, so your business has already paid for your expenses, but you haven't benefited from it yet. And a very good example is actually your EasyLink card. You actually top up your EasyLink card, right? Usually I top up my EasyLink card $50 because adults pay a lot for transport, you know. One bus ride can be $1.80. And then you take MRT, $3 over $4, you know. So it can be quite expensive, right? So I don't top up $10. Three rides are over already. So I will top up $50. I pay $50 already, but actually in future, I can use it. All right, and because in future I can use it, right? This amount inside my EasyLink card is actually a current asset to me. It gives me the right to use the expense in future. All right, so a few things you need to take note. In the current year, when I pay this amount already, at that particular year end, I need to remember to myself that I have paid the amount this year, but it's not used yet. I haven't used it yet. All right. Now, because I paid the amount already and I haven't used it yet, what I need to do is I need to minus away my expenses. I credit expense because I haven't used this expense in that particular year. When will I use this expense? I will use it next year. So next year, next column, I talk about it later. All right. Now, at year end, I know I paid this expense already, and I can use it next year. So the double and the other account affected will be prepaid expense. I increase my asset. Why do I increase Why do I increase my asset? Because I have paid for services which I can use next year. All right, so a little bit, I guess, like your tuition, I guess you can, to you, right? If you pay for your tuition expense, or your parents pay for your tuition expense, pay for 10 lessons, all right, but you have not finished using all the 10 lessons yet. All right, so next year, there is a prepaid expense to your parents. All right, your parents actually paid for an expense but can use it next year. So that is the end of that particular year. Life will go on. The current year will end and we will move on into the next year. All right, we will move on into the next year here. Next year, at the beginning of next year, your business will say, I remember I actually have this prepaid expense, you know. Last year, I have this prepaid expense. I remember I paid $50 prepaid expense. You know what? I'm going to use it this year. See, since I'm going to use it this year, right? This prepaid expense, which I highlighted in yellow, is no longer going to be there anymore. All right? So I am going to decrease the asset. I will decrease the asset because my business will use this asset this year. All right, my business will use this asset this year. It's not going to be there anymore. All right. At the beginning of the next financial year, your accountant will also say, I remember last year, there was this prepaid expense. Now, this prepaid expense, I pay already, but actually I haven't used it yet. since I haven't used it yet, when am I going to use it? I'm going to use it this year. All right, I'm going to use it this year. Therefore, I have to increase my expenses. I will record a plus expense because I will use this expense this year. So at the beginning of the next financial year, the accountant will increase the expenses because the business will use up this $50 expense this year. All right. So if you can understand this, or if you feel like you need to take a picture of it or whatever, you can do that. And then after that, let's take a look at example number 4. And we try to calculate example number 4. So very similar structure, okay? You record the following on 1st of July 2020. And this is the beginning of the year. All right, it's the beginning of the year. He recorded that there was a prepaid cleaning expenses. So last year, he paid for this cleaning expense. You have to think to yourself, did I use it last year? No, never use it last year. So if you never used last year, when are you going to use it, right? So you need to take that into consideration. There's this prepaid cleaning expense, $500. Now, during this year, $5,000, during this year, he actually paid $1,500 for cleaning expenses. So what's the double entry related when you pay for cleaning expenses or cleaning services? At the year end, so at the year end, the records also show that he paid $100 for cleaning services for the month of 2021. What is the year end? The year end is December 2021. So inside this $1,500, right, there is this $100 that is related to January 2021, which is in the future. All right. At the year end, he haven't used this $100 yet. So can you please calculate the amount of cleaning expenses that will be shown in the statement of financial performance for the year ended 31st December 2020? As usual, can you key in your answer into the chat box? Why everybody got different answer again? People get 2,000. How you get? How you get $100? 1,100. Yu Hong also, you think about your answer. Hazika also think about your answer again. Jia Hui also think of who is Jia Hui? Oh, Jia Hui think about your answer also. Zhi Yuan also think about your answer. Wow, sad case. Only Rushdie got it. Idora also think about your answer. Everybody think about your answer again. Idora also think about your answer again. Okay, 1,100. Oh, your is the opposite. Oh, think about your answer. I think only Rushdie got it. All right, okay, I will go through now. So firstly, this $500, right? This $500, last year you pay because it's at the beginning of the year, right? The beginning of the year, you discover you have $500 prepaid cleaning expense, right? So you discover you have $500 cleaning expense. Last year, you paid this amount. This year, you use this amount, right? Since you use it this year, you should be recording it as a plus this year. All right, you should be recording this as a plus this year. Oh, Yawen also got it correct. Good job, Yawen. All right, so you should record as a plus this year. Last year you pay, this year you use. So you should be recording it as a plus in the current year, in 2020. Now, during the year you pay 1,500. Everybody understand that you need to increase this 1,500. Very good. All right. Now, His records also show that he paid $100 for cleaning services for next year. Now, you actually paid for next year. If you pay for next year, current year is actually unused. All right, you pay for next year, current year is not used yet. If current year is not used yet, right? Can you say that this is an expense? Cannot, because you never use it in the current year. Since you never use it in the current year, right? You need to minus $100. So your whole answer will look something like this. All right. You need to increase $500 because it was unused last year. This year, only then you will use it. You will need to increase $1,500 because that's the amount that you paid. Everybody got that? But this $100 at the year end is actually for 2021. It's for January 2021. 2021 haven't happened yet, no? Today is only 31st December 2020. 2021 is in the future. All right, it's in the future and you haven't used it yet. Since you haven't used it yet, the current year you haven't used it yet, you need to minus it away. So your correct answer is $1,900. All right. Now, so can you prepare? Can you do C maybe? Everybody do C for me. Key in your answer for C to me. What is the amount that will be shown in the statement of financial position? So I show this here so that you can see. And then I will type the answer. I'll type the question. I would like everybody to do this and send your answer to me. What is the amount shown in the statement of financial position? In which section is it shown? Can you type your answer, please? Thank you very much. That which I answer, your answer I think a little bit not quite right. Other than that, most people seem to have, okay, only got Rushdi Zhiyuan, which has correct answer. Jiahui, think about your answer again. Idora, your answer is okay. Yao Wen, your answer is okay. Inci, I don't need the cash at bank, only need the prepaid. But your answer for cash at bank is correct. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, what is the amount going to be shown in the statement of financial position? You will see it as a current asset. And which one is it? Is this one? This $100 in yellow. $100 that has been paid for the future because this is an asset that you can use it in the future. So one current asset, and it is a prepaid cleaning expense of $100. So some of you got it, some of you, if you don't have it, you need to tell me which part you don't understand, all right? It is now, we're wondering how we get $400 for one particular student. Is it because you take 500 minus 100? No, you cannot do that because this 500, I think that student who wrote 400, don't want to say who you are. The $500 is actually for last year, all right? So the beginning of this year, what will you do? In the beginning of the next year, right, you actually will minus away the 400, you know? You will minus away the $400 prepaid. So that prepaid is no longer there. Why is it no longer there? Because you have used it up already. All right. So the only prepaid that is left is this $100 in yellow. It's prepaid for the month of 2021 January. Okay. All right. Next one is, what about an expense payable? So the last segment for income or expenses is expense payable. So what is an expense payable? An expense payable, it is an amount which is used already, used this year, but you are going to pay it next year. Since you are going to pay it next year, right? It is a current liability at the end of that current year. All right, at the end of the current liability, it is a current liability at the end of that current year. All right, you have used it this year, but you have not paid for it yet. It's a liability. So what is the double entry at the end of that current year? Since you have used it already, you need to record it as a expense. And since you haven't paid for it yet, you need to increase your liability. All right. So the end of the current year already end. Then we go on to the next year. We go on to the beginning of next year. At the beginning of this year, if there was this expense payable of $100 or $50 from last year, right? You see this payable from last year. All right, you see this payable from last year. Oh, last year there was this amount that you need to pay. What would you do? You would actually pay for it. All right, you would actually pay for it. All right, you would pay for the amount. Let's not do this. You will actually pay for the amount and you will decrease the liability. Right? Because you eventually need to pay for it. So at the beginning of the next financial year, you will pay for it. So you minus away liability. At the same time, this expense, you will probably use it up as well. So since you will use it up as well, you would increase your, excuse me, let me backtrack again. All right. Now this expense was already used last year. All right. It was used last year. So what you need is not used this year. Since it is not used this year, you have to minus away the expenses. You need to decrease the expense because the business used the expense last year. If they didn't use it this year. All right. So this is the double entry you need to know. When at the end, all right, so this is the double entry. In particular, right, what's very, very important is the red color one. You need to know when the expense was used. Was it used this year? Then you plus. Or you didn't use it this year? Then you minus. All right, so let's take a look at the example, number 5 again. And in this example, right, there's actually more than one. So I only want you to do all the ones in red, okay? I only want you to do general expenses. All right, so can you do general expenses? So can you do the answer? Calculate the amount of general expenses incurred. So as usual, can you key in the chat box? Oh gosh, I have so many differing answers again. Oh, sorry, I need to change. Everybody, it's not accrued general expense. You all don't know what is accrued general expense. General expense payable. Does this change your answer? It's general expense payable, okay? Not accrued general expense. I think, does it change your answer? Because I copied a question from the old syllabus. Very angry with the KTV people. You all know what happened with the KTV people, right? All the thumbs up low. Make us all go back to funny. Make us all go back to don't know what again. Okay, how is your answer coming along? Doesn't change? No, it changed. Oh yeah, your answer doesn't change. Is it? Are you trying to tell me that? Wow, how come the answer all so different? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the answer. So firstly, at the beginning of the year, right, you have a general expense payable. All right, you have to pay this $60, right? So at the beginning of the year, you have to pay this $60. So what does it mean? It's actually used last year, but unpaid. If you use it last year, but you unpaid, in the current year, of 31st December 2020. So firstly, your year end is 31st December 2020, okay? You use this amount last year, but you haven't paid it yet. So in the current year, it's used last year, right? Since you used last year, you did not use it this year, you used it last year. So you're going to minus away the $60. This one, everybody can understand. If you cannot understand, please faster say. Okay? Next. Nobody say anything. At the year end, you see that there is a general expense payable. You have an amount payable. So, and you know that this amount is payable, right? It's payable. You know that at this year end, it is unpaid. Have you used it yet? Well, if you never use, you never pay, it's not a problem. Don't need to record it because never use, never pay. But you have used, but you never pay it. Since you have used it, you need to record this as a plus. So everybody, take note here. A general expense payable at the beginning of the year is a minus because you used it last year. You never used this year. A general expense at the end of the year, 31st December, is a plus because you are going to use it this year. Okay? Next. During the year, the following check payments are made. The cash payment for general expenses is 1147. 1047. I don't know, 1047. This is the amount that you are going to record as cash payment. So the double entry will be to record increase in expense. And then you pay, right? Pay cash. So you minus away cash. Increase expense minus cash. So all these numbers are the numbers which you are going to take into account. And this will be your answer. 1035. All right, 1035. That is your answer. Can I just leave it here and let you process it a little bit? You used the amount last year. You never use it this year. That's why you minus away 60. All right, this 60 here. Next, there was some payments. 1047 payment here. Next, is it correct? Did I calculate it wrongly? Let me check my calculation. Use this year. Minus 60 plus 1047 plus 40. Oops. Minus 60 plus 1047 plus 45. Yeah. Oh, correct. 10. Yeah. 1032. Okay. Check again. All right. So finally, you plus $45. Why? Because you use it this year but unpaid. So if you use your calculator, the general expenses that's incurred is 1032. Okay, usually the two questions, it will come with a payable and a prepaid expense. All right, so why don't you try to recall again your prepaid expenses? Can you try the prepaid expense, the prepaid maintenance expense? All right, so everything that is in green, everything that is in green, can you do this now? All right, so try the prepaid expense. Try to calculate the amount of maintenance expense. Wow, that was fast. Jiahui already done. Confine answers. Now the answer generally is between 2650 and 2050. Yeah, now the answer is between 2650 and 2050. Okay, let's take a look, okay? So firstly, your prepaid maintenance expense at the beginning of the year. All right, your prepaid maintenance expense at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, right, you have this prepaid maintenance expense. Now, this prepaid maintenance expense, right, is paid last year, unused last year. When are you going to use it? You're going to use it. You never use it last year, right? So you're going to use this year. Since you're going to use it this year, this $900 should be a plus. You will increase your expenses this year. Everybody okay? If not okay, you will have to unmute yourself and tell me. Next, there is a prepaid maintenance expense at the end of the year. The prepaid maintenance at the end of the year is paid this year, but it is unused this year. You will use it when? Use next year. This one can understand? You pay already, but you never use it. It's like your EasyLink card, prepaid EasyLink card, right? When are you going to use it? You will use next year, lor. So since you have not used it yet, you are going to minus the $600 away. Minus $600. All right. Lastly, you have some check payments. When you have a check payment of 2350, you will increase your expense and decrease bank. So again, you are going to record all these numbers How do all these numbers look like? It will look something like this. All right, you will have like that. Unused last year, let's see, your maintenance expense, $900. You never used last year, so you use this year. So you're going to increase $900 plus your payment minus, everybody are wrong at the answer. Plus the payment minus away your unused last year. Oh, not everybody wrong. Some people, half. The answer is 2650. Okay. Now, usually you will have something like this. Instead, you want, it is quite, I mean, if the examiner is quite nice to you, if they gave you payable or prepaid expense for the beginning of the year and the end of the year. Usually it's not like that. Usually they will mix it up. All right, so example 6 is an example of what could happen. They might give you at the beginning of the year interest payable. Sorry, let's take a look at general expense. Beginning of the year, there's a general expense. At a prepaid general expense. At the end of the year, there's a general expense payable. So they may not give you so nice, both are the same. They might mix it up like this. All right. So why don't we do this? Can you do the amount of interest expense and general expense? Can you calculate using this information? I do you a favor because this is, I know it's a first time for a lot of us, or we are still trying to understand it. I highlight the relevant information. Okay, so similar stuff I group together. Okay, so interest expense is now all in green, and then general expense is in black. So can you, if it will be easier, right, you should write it out. Okay, so write out your answer. So can I give you 5 minutes? Can you type out your answer into the chat box? All right. So weird. Everybody got the expenses, general expense wrong. Did I calculate wrongly? Okay, so you do this first. I'm waiting for your answer. Oh, good job, Yawen. You got the general expense correct. Those people who submitted, Yingqi, your interest expense is both of your interest expense, general expense not quite correct. Dora, your interest expense is correct. Give you a bit more time. Hey, the rest of you got some answer or not? Idora, your general expense is correct. Good job. Sorry, Idora. The rest of you do and submit your work. The rest of you, submit your work, submit your work. Yeah, I don't see any more answer coming in. I don't know whether you're still there or not, or you're like completely lost and give up already. Never mind, I shall just key in the answer. Okay, so let's go through the answer. All right, let's go through the answer. Let's start with the interest expense payable first. Now, since this is an expense that is payable, all right, means that at the beginning of the year, right, you have to pay it. Meaning last year, right, is a payable. Now, last year, why do you need to pay it? Last year, you need to pay it because it was used last year, right? You use it last year. This year, you never use it. Since you never use this amount, you are going to record this amount as a minus. It was used last year. This is an expense payable at the beginning of the year, meaning last year you already use it, but you never pay. So if last year you use it, you cannot use it again this year, right? So it's actually a minus, it's unused this year. What about the 31st March 2020, $210? At the end of this year, you have a payable. Payable means that you haven't paid, right? Unpaid this year. If you never pay this year and you never use this year, you don't need to record because nothing happened. Never use, never pay, right? But you never use this year. The problem is that you used it this year. Since you used it this year, you must record it this year. So you need to plus $210. So far, so good. All right. So next, let's take a look at receive the bank statement. So they also tell you that the bank statement have the following payout, and the payout for interest expense $810. Every time you make a payment, you should record increase in expense. And because this is bank statement, so you minus cash at bank, right? Okay, so this is it for the, so what does it mean? Interest expense, how do I calculate my interest expense, right? So interest expense, if I put it all together, right, I minus 270 plus 810 plus 210. It will give me $750. So some people did get that correct. Okay, answer is $750. Okay. All right. Next thing, prepaid general expenses. When there is a prepaid general expenses, all right? So you see here on 1st of, so now I'm moving on to general expense. On 1st of April, there is a prepaid general expense of $350. All right, there's a prepaid general expense of $350 at the beginning of the year. Prepaid at the beginning of this year means prepaid at the end of last year, right? So you paid last year, but it's unused last year. You pay last year is unused last year. When do you use it? You actually use this year. Since you use it this year, right? You need to record a plus in the current year. You use it this year, so you should record a plus this year. Because you use it this year. Last year never use, this year then you use. All right, now let's take a look at 31st of March 2020. At year end, you have a general expense payable. At year end, when you have a payable, it means that it's unpaid at year end this year. Do you use it? Of course you use it. If you never use it, unpaid, unused, nothing happened. But you never pay this year and you used it this year. That's why there is an issue. Now, if you use it this year, then you should record it as a plus this year. Finally, your general expenses in the bank statement, how should you record? Now, since you already paid for this general expense, you should record plus expenses minus away bank. And you are going to record this plus expenses now. Therefore, if you calculate your general expense, this is what is going to happen. General expense equals to plus 350 at the beginning of the year plus 1890 that you paid plus 380 at the end of the year, which is a payable. And this will give you 2620. All right. Now, in this lesson, right, or rather in this revision, right, actually there are many other questions. So for example, prepare journal entry, what is the amount shown in the statement of financial position, and so on. I actually didn't focus because I cannot go through every single thing. We actually use 3 weeks to teach this in class. So it's impossible to finish it in one 2-hour session. So in this lesson, right, you mainly focus, what is our focus? The main focus, right, is actually focus on this green color. You have to know make sure you know how to calculate the earned income and incurred expenses. All right. So what I'm going to do is, this lesson is done. In this lesson, I focus on this. If you want to read it again or listen to it again because you need to remember or recall, or you want to copy down some of the things that was written, then what you need to do is that you are going to, I will put this up on the recorded lesson onto Google Classroom, and I will also include this set of notes so that you can see and you can try. And after you try some of the examples, you should compare it to the answers. And then after that, you can have a look at the answers and try to understand the answers. All right, now I've also marked the income and expenses revision. You can take a look at that, and with your new revision knowledge from today, maybe you will understand where you went wrong a little bit better. All right, now as you can see, right, it was impossible to do. I think I was too ambitious. I wanted to do trade receivables, but it's impossible to do trade receivables and income and expenses. So tomorrow at 4 p.m., I will do the trade receivables and allowance revision. Same thing, I will post up the material and Zoom classroom slightly before the lesson. You can download it there. Okay? As a reminder to you, if you haven't finished the 2019 paper, you need to finish and submit. You can submit to me via, I hate this PDF because it means I have to print it out. And I have to, if 10 people submit via PDF, I have to print that PDF. No choice lah. You just submit to me there. Okay? All right. Thank you, everybody. I hope you understood this lesson a little bit better. If you are done, you can leave. I am going to join Yongsheng in the breakout room now, all right? Bye, everyone.